What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another video. Finally getting to the video I've been promising. Got caught up in the whole semen retention um, thing because it's getting a lot of momentum. And, a lot of the people that are woke, spiritual, also do semen retention. So, there'll be more videos on that, but now finally a video on who can you trust. Your individuals that are revealing stuff that we, especially New Agers, no, we all know that conspiracy theories, a lot of them turn out to be true. With certain ones that are popularized by the awakened community, like your reptilians and 9/11 and, and other stuff that's been revealed. So, but there is some deception that are out there, deceivers, if you will. So, a list of conspiracy theorists or other individuals that reveal stuff, some that that wrote books like, Zechariah Sitchin or Alex Jones, David Icke's, your Jordan Maxwell's, your William Cooper's, your Jesse Ventura's. So this is just my experience. I'll give you why I trust this person and not that person. So let's start with Zechariah Sitchin, since this is actually this is what led up to the video I posted about the Earth Chronicles and why I think every New Ager and Neo-Pagan should read the Earth Chronicles. Studying about the Anunnaki. So here's the thing about Zechariah Sitchin. He was a Russian Christian scholar. He, whole tablets. So it has been revealed by a individual, a former New World Order sex slave, abused child that has escaped and found her way to freedom. Her name is Arizona Wilder. Of course, that's not her real name, but that is what she goes by now. The thing you're going to find out in this video is very tricky stuff about who do you trust, because she has revealed that she have seen him, Zechariah Sitchin, during her captivity. Okay, she has seen him. I'm not sure if this was before he wrote the Earth Chronicles or after, but the point is she's seen him. Man, it's tricky stuff, because she's seen him, and she also said that she's seen him shapeshift into a reptilian. And in her interview with David Icke, you could actually, there's one of the few conspiracy stuff that's still on YouTube. So YouTube's really cracking down on stuff because they want to keep the mass from awakening. The more we awake, the less power they have. So they're really cracking down. But I believe the video is still on YouTube, where she's interviewed by David Icke, and David Icke has also spoke to Zechariah Sitchin, and he said that Zechariah Sitchin has said, "Don't mention the lizards." don't mention the reptilians, in David Icke's processing of releasing the biggest secret book he's written. I highly recommend that book because that book was an eye awakening. I actually read that book before reading the Earth Chronicles, which actually it kind of led me to halfway. The other way was my friend Tomas. Shout outs to him. Which also has led me to reading that book. I was so pissed when I got that book. That book is like, but anyways, the information is very, very worthwhile, and you just gain so much knowledge. But anyways, yeah, she's Arizona Waters today. He's seen Zechariah shapeshift, and David Icke says, well, that might be why he said, don't mention lizards. Zechariah told him, don't mention that. Now, here's what I do know. I forgot where I read this, but gods, how I mentioned that the reptilians from the planet Nibiru, Anunnaki reptilians, before I knew about all this, I did read that a god and even angels, and they're not supposed to reveal themselves as gods to humans. So they're supposed to be, they're supposed to keep themselves unknown from their true identity. And what I do know is angels do incarnate or do come into Earth, into our plane of existence, and help us out with something, and they just disappear without ever knowing the helpee, person being helped, ever comes out and discovers what what that person actually was. That's supposed to be kept, So, and the reptilian race and the dragons, and stuff, they can shapeshift into humans. The person down the street could be a reptilian or a dragon, and you wouldn't even know it. So I'm going to get to that in my next video about the dragon magic and the Loch Ness monster, and some of my experiences with that. When they do reveal themselves to you, and if it's a malevolent reptilian, you'll be lucky to survive that, because normally that's when they get ready to kill you. And Arizona Wilder has revealed that before before they've been killed, they shapeshift and really scare the crap out of these children before they do what they do to them. And why they do that, because I don't know if you remember my other videos, they really bring out that fear, negative energy. They thirst on that. They love it. They crave it. That's why they keep, that's one of the reasons why they keep society in a lower vibration frequency, by posting fear into the news, by posting fear into our schools, into our newspapers, into our social medias now. Myself, I choose not to watch TV, and either way, I still see it in my phone. When this pandemic happened, now smart news has been, they automatically post it on your phone, and it's crazy. They try at nothing to keep you informed, even when you don't want to, so they're very desperate right now. We had them on the rocks, even though it feels like a lot of people are not awakening. We really have them on the rocks here, because they're trying that hard to keep people in a state of fear, to the point where they're downloading stuff into your phone even when you don't want it on your phone or your social media. It's into the algorithms, so here's the tricky part about Zechariah Ascension. So Arizona revealed that he was um, hired to be a disinformant, you know, and to deceive the public. And so, does that mean the stuff from the Earth Chronicles isn't true? Well, no, because doesn't mean that it's not true. Because other people have went and researched the Sumerian tablets, and they found that the first four books are right on. So it's the other two last books. I forgot what they're called, um, but the first four books were right on. The 12th planet. Trying to think of the books on top of my head. The War of the Gods. You know, the second book that covers Gilgamesh and Enkidu. That whole story between that. Um, so those are right on, and you know, one thing the Illuminati does do is they will reveal themselves. They will reveal their secrets. What they want, the previews try to hide. And whatever reason they do that is either they want us to argue with each other because now we have the power to say, hey, we told you so. These conspiracy theories are not, we were right about something, to the people that refuse to believe. Or there's, remember me saying in my other videos, there are two sides to the New World Order, and they're constantly fighting each other for control. Those are either those two reasons. So it's just interesting stuff. And some people believe that Enki is on our side on this, and some people believe that he is he wanted us to be his slave for himself. So Zechariah seems to be very pro Enkis, so I have all the books from him, except for one. I think it's called the Anunnaki Chronicles. But the only book I don't have, I'm sorry, I have a book from him that it's all about Enki. And it has some other information about the gods that wasn't in the Earth Chronicles, like Inanna, the goddess that later becomes Athena, knows various martial arts styles, that we don't know here on Earth. There's, sounds very anime, right? But like we said, before, there's a lot of stuff in fantasy that turns out to be true. So, I forgot what the book's called. It's like the Tablets of Enki or something. I think it's just called the Book of Enki. But definitely recommend reading all those books. And Zechariah Sitchin, I think he passed away back in 2012, I believe it was. But and here's some other interesting things, because I'm pretty sure the video is still up there, but Zechariah Sitchin has proven to be a Mason, because there is a video clip where the camera's in a Masonic meeting or whatever in a lodge, and you actually could spot him. He's there. He quickly tries to hide his face. Why is he trying to hide his face? So, and Jordan Maxwell, a very respected conspiracy theorist, because don't get me wrong, David Icke, he sounds crazy, but he gives you the sources of his information in his books, so you could go look up and do your own research. But despite this, he just sounds crazy. I bet you if Jordan Maxwell came out with the reptilian conspiracy, I think it'd be a lot more believable. Just because, I don't know, Jordan Maxwell just sounds, when he talks, he sounds so intelligent. Where David Icke sounds like, he sounds crazy. But I think maybe that's because when I first heard of David Icke, before my awakening, um, people were saying he's crazy. So I think that part is downloading to my head, despite knowing that what he says, um, a lot of stuff he says is actually true and turned out to be true. Like I said, I've seen someone shapeshift. I've seen it in my third eye, seen it face to face. The Earth Chronicles, he gives you the research of, his information. So, but he still sounds like, it's a part of me is still saying no way, but, you know. So the next guy, like I said, David Icke. I believe there was a video where Arizona Wilder does say that she saw him transforming into a reptilian. I'm not so sure. I was skeptical about David Icke, and here's why. It's because when I first became awakened, I was in a Facebook group with I call them, I don't want to say they were New Agers. I call them spiritual Christians, and that's a term that I label Christians that accept reincarnation, and they still say that spells are evil. And I wasn't quite Wiccan, or no, I'm not Wiccan now. I'm still neo-pagan, but wasn't quite into the magic part yet. I didn't have that calling, and they were still pro Jesus and all that stuff. Well, there was a video saying 5% of the Earth's populations are demons. So, when I first became awakened, I just took all my beliefs and just spread, except for reincarnation, and just I started from scratch. I wanted to start from scratch. Whatever I believed in prior, whatever I believed in, it's just it's kind of like restarting what I believe and whatever comes to me, I'll believe, and whatever doesn't, I started over, right? like a kid growing up again. How you grow up and you see something, you start to develop these, beliefs and stuff for whatever reason, be a cartoon or experience or what someone else tells you. So I started from scratch, and I posted that video on the group, the Facebook group, and they said, yeah, that's true. And I was like, oh shit, and it was they're showing people from the Zimmerman case. This is when the Trayvon Martin thing had just happened, or it didn't just happen, but it was like a year or two when that happened. So yeah, and I started hearing about the reptilians, and they were saying that that stuff is true, but they were saying stay away from David Icke. So I was like, I had already had in my head that he's crazy, but they were saying some of the stuff he says is true concerning about the reptilians, but everything else was deceiving, and David Icke, some people say I'm not a New Ager, some people say I'm higher than that, on awake, there's a group of people that are just awakened, and they're not, they're just spiritual, I guess. I'm not sure what to call them, because it's hard to call them the awakened community when New Agers are also, well, a real New Ager and real New Pagan is also awakened. But David Icke has a negative perception of New Age, the label New Age, because in his books he says that the New Age movement is also part of the Illuminati, like everything else, controlled by the Illuminati. And I don't know, I just don't have that negative perception of the New Age movement. I do think that they are to a degree, because you have folks like Oprah sprouting law of attraction, and some other celebrities that have clearly shown the signs that they're part of the Illuminati or the New World Order. And so yeah, I do believe it's somewhat controlled by it, but it can't be all the way, because a lot of New Agers and all neo-pagans would not have the third eye open. But that's just my perception of it. But yeah, they were telling me to steer clear of David Icke. And so eventually I was studying about the stuff on Jesus, which was the main reason why they were saying stay away from David Icke. And eventually I just got fed up, because there was gaps to the Jesus story. There was not the story like the crucifixion story. Well, there was stuff on that too, but like they say, it takes a while to actually die on a cross. I forgot. The study takes 5 hours, but they said the way he died on the cross, it takes longer than what he actually died of. How long he actually died from. So, and there's other research about that, and there was a BBC documentary that was posted on Facebook about the possibility of Jesus being a Buddhist monk, and there were also other stories. I have a book of Buddhist scriptures and stories, and one of the stories is a man fitting the description of Jesus appearing in a Buddhist temple. He was all he had his legs broken, and he was all thrashed up, and they nursed him back to health and taught him the ways of Buddhism. So but there was inconsistencies of the stories, like how he got his leg broken, and at the time the Buddhists knew martial arts, because they had to develop it, because when they would travel, they would get attacked by bandits, so they had to develop a system of fighting to defend themselves, so you had to get their knowledge, to spread the knowledge through the rest of Asia. So some say this is the beginnings of Buddhism, or Jiu-Jitsu, the Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. So it's just there was a lot of inconsistencies with that story. So eventually I just began to let it go, and just like, if he comes, he comes. He doesn't. If he's real, he'll come to me. So I just let Jesus go, and then something was like showing signs about the universe was giving me signs about David Icke. So I typed in, what does David Icke say about Jesus? And someone without having to read his books, because still being told to stay away from him, and the book, or something about the biggest secret, the book, his groundbreaking book, was at the site Q&A, and it was saying that he said something about Jesus being a reptilian. So I was like, wait, what? So I said, what, I had enough. I got kicked out of the group. It all went downhill when I said I'm not sure if I believe in Jesus. That's when it all went downhill. And this lady wanted to do a cleansing at my home, and I was like, wait, I'm not going to have you come do a cleansing in my home. I don't even know you. Like that. So that I got kicked out of the group, and because of discrimination, I'm not believing in Jesus, and also the science of Jesus. They said if Jesus is real, what he looks like, what everyone perceives him to look like, the whole Chuck Norris, beard, long hair Chuck Norris look isn't what he would look like, And my grandmother had a Bible where the description of him, he's black. So, like I said, lots of inconsistencies here. So I went to finally buy the book. I was pissed because we got this book. It's about Atlantis. This book and like double it. I don't want to go and get the book. I do have the book, and I was so pissed because I was like, oh my god, I'm never going to be able to read this book. So, and it said that maybe I'll do another video, but it basically saying Jesus isn't real. Or maybe I'll do another video about that some other time. But on like why ultimately I don't believe in him. I've been asked by several Christians to give it a chance and pray, and he'll come to you, and he just never did. Buddha did, and I definitely believe in the Sumerian tablets. Hence me saying in my other video, hence me saying that the tablets made me more pagan than I already was. So, I dare to be different, and not every New Ager or awakened one believes in Jesus. I don't. So David Icke, I say, is one of the good guys. Now, here's the thing: he's friends with this next individual, or he was Alex Jones. Alex Jones, I I say good. David Icke thumbs up. Alex Jones thumbs down. There was a thing on him about I forgot what the video was about, but he disguised himself with something on InfoWars, and it was obviously him. And he's a Christian, and he's just he was in the movie, and that's another reason why I don't, because when you're in the movies, that's down up to the mainstream levels, and they control the mainstream. How do you get on the movie? But I mean, they don't. There's some stuff that gets out, but it used to pain me to stop believing in the guy, because he snuck in Bohemian Grove, and Bohemian Grove was one of the quintessential examples that the New World Order does exist. He snuck in there, and so it was like, oh my god, we have some proof that New World Order is real, that you don't need to open your third eye for, and we talked crap about David Icke at first, and so here's my thing about Alex Jones. There is an Illuminati card game, and a lot of the cards on this card game has manifested. One of them is Boston bombing. One of them is 9/11. You know how they say before the planes steal, burning gasoline does not melt steel, and the cards is nuclear bombing. So, and then when the towers collapse, you actually see, one, the towers collapse and it looked like a controlled demolition. Two, you actually see bombs going off, as and eyewitnesses actually said the same thing, that you know, that those weren't commercial airlines, and they were that they were bombs. So, but yeah, another reason why I don't trust Alex Jones, because one of the cards actually has a picture of a man that looks strikingly like Alex Jones, and it says he is, something about um, deceiving the audience by looking like he's one of us. So my thing about Alex Jones is he is a like Zechariah Sitchin. The whole point of this video, he's one of us masquerading as one of. I'm sorry, he is us, one of us, masquerading as one of us, but really one of them, one of the New World Order. So that's my perception on Alex Jones. This the guy I was talking about, that anything spiritual, he wants to get into argument with me about, especially with the semen retention and edging. You know, he tried starting an argument with me about about Sandy Hook. I don't. I'm from Connecticut. I don't believe that it took place, but I don't know what Alex Jones says about that. And he tried starting an argument with me about it. I'm like, dude, you're trying to argue with me about some guy I don't even follow. Why are we here arguing? And I don't know what he says about that. I'm not sure if it's the same stuff that other people say, but remember the whole thing about telling lies through vision. Okay, I think that whole thing about him getting in trouble is again used to distract the public, to keep people, silent. All that is a distraction. And I don't even think he even got in trouble. He's just there. The whole scenario is just there to keep people in the state of illusion, in the state of deception, to distract. All right, same thing. That's all Alex Jones is. And I work with the pendulum. I raised the pendulum if Alex Jones is one of the good guys that said no. So that's another reason. So my next guy is Jesse Ventura, who is friends with Alex Jones. And here's another. I'm gonna get to why I think David Icke's a good guy, and Ventura and Jones is one of the bad guys. Because I've watched the show Conspiracy Theory. That's actually through his show that I first heard of David Icke. And he went on the show to attack David Icke, and first time, like I said, first time I ever seen David Icke. This is my introduction to David Icke, and he was kind of being an asshole to him, but I was on Ventura's side at the time, because like I said, this is my first, conspiracy theory, even knowing about shapeshifting with the lizards. When I saw the episode, I was like, what? Humans shapeshifting into lizards? So it's just, he's an atheist. Okay, you don't really get a lot of atheist conspiracy theorists. Normally, that's a thing for spiritual people. There's Christian conspiracy theorists that like a former YouTuber by the name of the Vigilant Christian. He's no longer on YouTube, but he's a Christian conspiracy theorist. He would talk bad about me, If he knew, if he sees my channel in the future, I'm the type of person he'll talk bad about. Um, he's like, oh, I like his vigilance, but he has to go to God. You know, that's the stuff. You know, he would say. So they're out there. I have plenty of Muslim friends that know about the New World Order. So it's not just New Agers, Neo Pagans that know about this, but atheists, they're too logical, um, and that's just one red flag right there. Um, and two, um, how does he get into the public with a mainstream show called Conspiracy Theories? And if you're under the knowledge of television, Life Through Vision, why would that be on there? And then there was a 9/11 conspiracy show, and it had nothing to do with your typical 9/11. Um, 9/11 conspiracy theories. Nothing about Building 3, nothing about the collapse of the. It's something completely different. It's about a top of something being in a building. So. There was just nothing, and then now looking back, now as an awakened individual, spiritual warrior, um, looking at the David Icke episode and, him kind of being a dick to him because he asked him where could he find a reptilian. There was times where David Icke started talking, he just kept interrupting him. So, and then David Icke just says, read my books, And you have to understand David Icke's perception of that, because he's making money out of doing shows and doing books. He's not going to tell you, for free, and on television to the point where, he's getting this information for free. And, anybody could be a reptilian, they're an alien race that you don't want to run into. They're based off of the vampire legend, or the vampire legend is based off the reptilians. So I'm sure if you seen vampire movies, I'm pretty sure you've said, I'm glad they're not real, and if they are real, I don't want to run into them. It's the same thing, because you don't know who is one until they transform. They shapeshift. They, start seeing their things. So it's the same thing. And Ventura was, he was being a dick. And Alex Jones has tried to get the three of them to talk, and he's, he does the right thing, like we all try to do. We try to unite to, he said we need to be friends. We need to, unite, because unity is how their games are defeated. But David Icke doesn't participate, and he just chooses to ignore it. And I'm not sure if he is skeptical of Alex Jones or just Ventura. I'm skeptical of him, but he just doesn't participate. And David Icke does talk about your chakras and stuff, so he probably has a very good intuition. It kills him that people call him this, but they say he's a New Age guru. He doesn't like that label because, again, the negative perception he has of the term negative. I mean, the term New Age. I don't have that perception, so I don't mind being called a New Age. Plus, I'm a very neo-pagan. Neo-pagan is part of the New Age movement. It's paganism with a New Age approach, like law of attraction and crystals, so manifestation. So I don't have that negative outlook on it, but I'm pretty sure David Icke's pretty intuitive, and he probably just didn't participate because he probably sensed something was up. And I haven't seen David Icke associate himself with Alex Jones ever since. You know, there's probably a good reason behind that. He probably just doesn't. He just ignores it. Just, you know, just like I need to do with my friend that constantly starts arguments with me about this stuff. Just, you know. Oh, by the way, shout outs to the person that says he's not your friend. Shout outs to you. Thank you for your support. You're awesome. So, anyways, next guy, Jordan Maxwell. I've only heard of, I've only seen one of his lectures, talks. He's a very intelligent guy. I think he's one of the good guys. I say follow him. So, yeah, there's not much I can say about him. The tricky thing with him is there is a video, and it is on. It's probably the same video that someone made a collection of Zechariah Sitchin of him being, you know, a Mason, and one of the videos is him and Maxwell doing a Masonic handshake together. I'm not sure if Jordan knew this or if he. Sometimes when you like shake hands or do something, you don't know. You kind of just go along with it, you know, not knowing that you're doing it. So maybe that was it, but there's nothing to suspect on Jordan Maxwell. So I say I think he's one of the good guys. You really turn into a new person after listening to him. He sounds very intelligent, and he is. You know, someone recommended it to me, and he just blew my mind on stuff. He's also a Christian and study of the Bible. Like I said, that we do have, you know, his only beef with David Icke, which is understandable, is they were doing a conspiracy theory movement kind of thing, and he actually brought David Icke to America. And after David Icke got big, you know, David Icke just said, "Whew, see ya," you know. So, so Jordan's, you know, understandably, you know, he's very bitter on that. But you can't blame him. So, William Cooper, he died. He did talk junk about David Icke. But it was about, it was very contradictory. It was about aliens. You know, he said some stuff about the aliens, and but he believed in them too. So it was kind of weird. I didn't follow him that much, but what I do know is he predicted 9/11 before it happened. Said that they were going to take down the Twin Towers and blame it on a man called Osama bin Laden before people knew who he was. So that's you know, the only thing I got about that. Last but not least, who remembers what happened last year at the Capitol? Remember the QAnon shaman? Jake Angeli. He used to be a YouTuber called Starseed Academy. Now there's another Starseed Academy YouTube channel, but it's not the same. But yeah, he used to be on YouTube, and I didn't get a chance to see his channel because he deleted the channel right before doing that stuff on the in the Capitol. But here's what makes me not trusting the guy, because here's the thing. QAnon. Okay, QAnon is actually a thing that the New World Order has to keep people ignorant and gullible. I have friends on Facebook that are a part of the follow the movement. It's very similar to New Age and the Awakening community, but the thing is, for what I gather about Q, whatever, Q Lazarus, no, goodbye horses, I'm flying over you. No, sorry, joke. That was a song. Look up the song. That song is awesome, especially if you're a fan of classic alternative, new wave, post punk. So, anyways, they told me, um, QAnon is the beliefs is the politicians and pedophilia. You know, that's a similar belief of New Age and the other awakened, like the David Icke's. Um, but thing is, QAnon. I think it's mostly Caucasians, um, or all Caucasian. Haven't seen any minorities, Native American, Black, Japanese. Follow that. Um, and they're very pro-Trump. And the thing that boggles my mind about that is because why people think Trump's on our side. Like, when they want to take you out, they'll take you out. Just JFK, Lincoln. If you don't comply, first off, remember, all the presidents are related. You could go on BitChute, and you could go on Ancestry.com, you could go on Heritage.com. You could trace them yourself. It's no longer a conspiracy that all the presidents are related. So, Trump is part of that bloodline, okay? He's a distant cousin from Hillary, thanks to an affair that two people had from way back when, and they're related. So Trump is part of that bloodline. He's part of the 13 family. So where do they get that he's part of us? They're saying that that he's turning against them. They say that he had an assassination attempt. Did anybody witness this? If it's on TV, again, remember, televised vision. It's just people seeing what they want to see at this point, because if they want ways to take you out, they'll take you out. One of the ways is, remember, you can't remember, the Bush's family had a butler, or a maid, and she was crushed under her car during after 9/11 happens. And they were fearful of what she might have known, just being a butler. She said the car was parked, and when she went in front of it, the car just started moving and crushed her in front of her home. Just like that. When they want to take you out, they'll take you out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So how do they get that Trump's on their side? Okay? Who remembers the signs that indicate a celebrity is part of the Illuminati? This, and this. When Trump talks, doesn't he do this? That's 666, right? When he talks, he goes blah 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 blah. He's not one of us. He's not. I'm not saying I'm not on the thing that he's this big racist. I'm not on that kick, but he's not on our side. There's someone that's a politician, the president. We need to look at that person as a enemy, not as a possible ally, because plus they can't even explain exactly what he did to be on our side. Like, what did he do to make us think that he's on our side? Stimulus checks, that's nothing. Okay, because you have to also, if you want to keep people under control and not making them think that this new world order exists, they have to do actions to make it believable that the thing doesn't exist, that the president is on the side of the people or the companies. So I just don't get it. What's up with this pro-Trump stuff? Plus, really, a real New Age fashion in my view, anyways, is you're not pro country, you're pro planet Earth, Mother Earth, Gaia. Okay, it shouldn't be just America. No, it's planet Earth. This is planet Earth. Ba 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 ba. Sorry, another song, Duran Duran, their first single, Planet Earth. It's awesome. Check it out. Duran Duran's the best new wave band. Anyways, so Jake Angeli. The Q shaman, if you will. That stuff you saw on television, tell light through vision. Okay. Also, The Simpsons. Didn't The Simpsons predict that a guy matching Jake's description was going to be up there screaming, just like in what happened in the Capitol in the Simpsons episode? So that tells you something that they knew that was going to happen. Now, if they're controlling him, or he's a part of them on his own without being controlled, it's totally up to you. But he was not our ally. He's not someone to be trusted. And they use him to make us spiritual people sound even crazier than we already sound, because to a normal person talking about higher dimensions and aliens and stuff, crystals, manifestation, magic, to a normal person we already sound crazy. I don't care about being called crazy. I used to be a backyard wrestler. I used to jump off of ladders and stuff. I was already called crazy, so that doesn't bother me. But that stuff, the information that they came out with, that is used to make us sound crazy, so that people that are starting to awaken, that don't have the strength to truly be who they are, or pursue something with fear of being criticized by others, that keeps them in the dark. That's what they were pulling up stuff about him that, one, may not even be true, or two is true. And they're just pulling out stuff that doesn't matter. Like, if he lives, they said that he was a conspiracy theorist that lived with his parents. Who cares? What does that have to do with the crime they said he did? They said he was in the Capitol helping people tear up the place. Okay, what does him living with his parents have to do with anything? Why do we need to learn that information? Because you know why they did that? Because in other movies, one of the movies, Pixels, they perceive conspiracy theorists as losers. The guy in Pixel, they called him the Wonder Kid. He still lived with his grandmother in the basement. Same thing they said about Jake Angeli. That's how they perceive people that follow conspiracy theories. And it's ridiculous, because we're not all like that. And if they are, who cares? If you live with your parents, good, congratulations. All right. I never saw the thing that was so wrong about that, especially in the Wonder Kid in that Pixel movie. He lived alone with his grandma. I don't think people should be living alone anyways. So, and he wasn't hurting anybody. So if the person's not hurting anybody, doing what they're doing, who cares? That doesn't mean they're a bad person. That doesn't mean they're a loser. But society wants you to think that. Society makes these rules to stress, to get they make these rules to stress people out if they don't make society's standards. That's why my other videos say fuck society's standards. Fuck it. If you don't want to be like everyone else, who cares? Okay, the New World Order makes these standards and conditions society to shun out, to make fun of, to ridicule people that don't follow these standards. You know, when I was a kid, Bugle Boy, not Bugle Boy, I'm sorry, Tommy Hill was the big fashion FUBU. I didn't wear that. I wore Arizona jeans from JCPenney. I didn't get made fun of because of that, but I just dared to be different. Plus I heard Tommy Hilfiger was a racist. So if he's a racist, why are black and Puerto Ricans wearing his clothes? But because it was all down to be cool. Everyone wanted to be cool and in with the crowd. Yeah, West Side. They they followed suit despite completely ignoring that everyone's saying that he's racist. But they still wore his stuff. It's all that strive to be cool. That they'll wear a product of someone that's racist just to get that recognition of being one of the cool kids. Okay? Jake Angeli, who cares if he lives with his parents? That's not part of the crime. So why did the media even bring that up? All this stuff, and like I said, the fact that he was on The Simpsons, that tells you something that he's not one of us. From one of the videos he made, he said something about an alien race that was kind of false. I forgot what it was said, but it was false because, like I said, I always say get the information on stuff through books. Don't just get everything on YouTube videos. And it's was one of those things. So I think someone else also brought up, said, yeah, he said something very wrong about I think the Syrian alien race. So like I said, always get the books on information on like that, because some stuff you have to go on YouTube, like 9/11 and stuff, but other stuff you got to get it from the books, because sometimes information is misleading or altered through YouTube videos. And like I said, that's what happened to me with the story of the Anunnaki. There was videos saying that they weren't reptilians, and just didn't make sense. So it led me half the reason it led me to buying the Earth Chronicles and seeing for myself. All right. So I think that's it. If you want to discuss, please leave a comment. Let's talk about this. I'm willing to learn if you're willing to learn. But the bottom line is, just like the wrestling New World Order, you don't know who you could trust. David Icke and Jordan Maxwell seem to be on point. Waylon Cooper probably was on point too, but everyone else I mentioned, it's, Kathy O'Brien, that's another one. She seems legit. There's only one thing where these girls saying that Kathy has her sister, and they showed proof that the person Kathy had was her sister. Kathy O'Brien's another escaped child of the New World Order that was a sex slave. She was another example of that. And she said she's seen George Bush before he was before he became president. She said that he admitted to her that he's not from this world, the whole reptilian. So, but she seems legit. But like I said, in the end, be careful who you trust. Go by intuition. Please open your third eye, because that helps you determine who is legit, who's not. I could not be legit for all you know. I'd hate to say that, trying to attack myself, but that's what we're going through. It's just like the wrestling storyline, New World Order. It's just like that. You never know. Your tag team partner, your partner one day, and then the next he joins the NWO. It's the same thing. Okay. Again, hit that like and subscribe. Thank you, and you guys are awesome. See you next time.